to all ages, all groups. And today, actually, I read a statistic that 7% of children 4 years old and under have their own Facebook pages, which blew me away. That was on Ad Week today.
Yeah.
I have young children, and they do not have Facebook pages right now.
Not yet.
Yeah.
However, it has got its hands into all ages, all geographies are expanding where they allow social media, of course.
And Matt brought up a really good point about, he started posting articles and different things like that. And, a big key to local businesses is to know that if you're going to be in social media, don't be in it just to be in it. Make sure that you're actively, it's meant to be social. Have a conversation. You're not just pushing your message out and saying, hi, I'm Heidi, I work at Next Media, hi, I'm Heidi, because you're going to turn your fans off and they're going to stop coming to your page. But like Matt, he's posting from multiple different sources and giving them useful tidbits of information. It's keeping it current and it's making him be seen as a resource.
No, that's an excellent point, Heidi. And that brings up a question as to what is the right balance of marketing or sales message to push out versus just sharing valuable content. Maybe, Matt, I'll ask you that since you post information about the gym.
Yeah, mine is about 50-50. And I find myself in a situation where we have a Smitty's Ironworks page, but then I also have my own personal page as well. And so I've got content kind of going out from both places. And my own Facebook page, I post articles and I post useful information, but I almost refer to it as a blog because I do post about the things I'm doing in exercise. I train for marathons. I'm preparing for a bodybuilding show right now. And so, I put out little motivational things about the things I'm doing there. And like Heidi said, it draws people because it's interesting content. It's not just articles or just, and so I think I find about probably 50-50 content there keeps people interested in what you're doing and makes it personal.
Right.
So you're getting to know the person through that medium and then also establishing yourself as a subject matter expert because you're putting out the useful information that they want in that field.
Right.
And drawing from things that are going on within our local community, but also, celebrity and pop culture and news, and finding a way to tie those topics back to your business. So if the red carpet and somebody looked amazing, tying it back to, gosh, I wonder what their workout routine is, and finding ways to take big topics but localizing it to your business.
Okay. And Heidi, I'm curious about the radio station using social media. What are some of the objectives that the station has in using these channels? Or what are some of your goals?
Definitely. Very great question. With the diversity of audiences based on the radio stations that we have, we're catering to a lot of different people. And a key thing that we like to make sure that our on-air personality and also our customers that we're helping is you're not business X. You're a person. So if you had, your own business and it was Mark's Pizza Shop, you are acting as Mark. You're letting people get to know you and you're having that social two-way conversation,
Okay.
So making sure that you're not just pushing a message out, but asking for feedback. And our stations have done a great job with it and really enticing conversation and asking really intriguing questions. And making sure that they're giving a lot of visual stuff. We're all visual. We want to have that picture. So when you're posting, make sure that you're not posting too frequently with just words, that making sure that you add that visual element to it.
Okay. So are the radio DJs and hosts on the social media sites posting?
They are.
Okay.
It's definitely teamwork because they're the ones that are on air, that are taking calls from listeners, and then and then we also manage our clients' websites or social media. So we're helping in two different ways.
Okay.
But it's really great. I mean, they're interacting all the time with their listeners, and it's really fun to see what people are commenting back on, and making sure that if someone posts on your Facebook page, the turnaround time, whether it's positive or it's just, we really like this X, Y, Z, making sure that you're responding to them in a timely manner because they don't want to just comment on there. It's all about having that conversation.
Yeah, that's a great point. And thinking about this with all the things that people post, there's a risk factor involved when you want to be on social media, you don't have time to route it through a legal department or the normal process if you're putting things into print. Were there ever any fears? Maybe Mark, I'll ask you, were there fears about maybe I'll post something and it'll damage my business?
Yes. In fact, some of the brands I've worked for, the question was, what if somebody says something bad about us? And Brian Solis, who has written the book Engage,
Right, yes.
classic, and he wrote the Social Media Manifesto several years ago. But one of his comments that I really like is the conversations are going to be there with or without you. So you might as well be a part of that conversation because it's happening. And I think, as Heidi said, you can address it. If there is an issue with customer service, you can nip it in the bud. And I'm finding that I much prefer to go to a Twitter site that might be handling customer service for a brand versus being on the phone 20 minutes waiting for somebody to pick up.
Exactly.
And it says a lot about the company when you go on their Twitter page and write something, you can see how responsive they are, and that builds up quite a bit of brand loyalty, at least from my perspective. I actually love the Cliff bars, you know, those nutrition bars, maybe you know those.
Absolutely.
I received a pack and it wasn't expired yet, but they tasted a little bit old. So I got on the Twitter page for Cliff and I said, my Cliff bar tastes old, but it's not expired. Somebody from Cliff Bar sent me a tweet and said, what's your phone number? I'll give you a call. They called me within about an hour, I believe, and sent me in the mail a new box of Cliff Bars.
That's wonderful.
Nice.
That impressed me, and now I continue to buy
Yeah.
Cliff Bars,
Yeah.
and I'm loyal to the
Yeah.
brand there. So
You know, I totally agree with Mark as far as, you know, the possibility for negative comments. That's what makes it real. You know, if you want to watch TV and see what's not real and what is all night, I mean, the reality of Facebook and Twitter is it is real conversations.
It's not scripted.
And yeah, it's not scripted, and some negative feedback is absolutely part of what I think people appreciate from a real conversation that goes back and forth. And there's been times when maybe there's a negative comment, and you have the ability to take it offline with that person and send them a personal message and just say, hey, you know, my name is Matt. I'd like to work with you on this problem. And now you can take something offline and take care of it for the customer. I think it's great. I think it adds realism to why people use social media.
right, I agree completely. So has anyone here made a big mistake ever? Has anyone written something that's actually backfired and you say, oh boy, I wish I could have not posted that on Facebook or Twitter?
I'll cite a mistake that I made, and it was
Okay.
in working with a brand, and it was really managing expectations. I did a social media campaign for them, and the issue was that there wasn't enough good, fresh content on their website, and I couldn't keep pushing people to the same page if they weren't updating it and adding more. So maybe it wasn't a mistake, but it backfired a bit because I kept having to figure out how am I going to direct people to this brand and what they're about if they aren't giving me new content.
Yeah.
I actually made a mistake in social media. I won't name names, but I underestimated the power of Twitter, let's say. I posted something would be free on the Twitter channel when we had maybe 1,000 followers in this group I was working for, and it reached about 220,000 people within a day. I obviously did not have that much free product to give out to people. Had to apologize and make amends with the situation. People were understanding, however, and people understand that sometimes these things can blow out of control or go viral, things like that.
Now, did that come from your 1,000 followers retweeting it? And
Actually,
then their followers catching it and retweeting it? Is that how it...
Actually, that's what I would have imagined would have happened. However, in this instance, people grabbed the free link, and there are these sweepstakes and other companies out there that post them on their sites that have maybe 100,000 Twitter followers for one sweepstakes site, and I learned a lot from that lesson.
Yeah, sure.
However, so
And
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
was just going to say that a mistake that we see from some of our customers, early on, is that they'll have Facebook and Twitter links on their website or in their email signature, and then you go there and they haven't posted since November. and you go there and you're like, why do they have this on their website?
Right.
Again, going back to, if you're gonna be in it, you gotta be in it, and there's resources out there to help you if you don't have the time or if you need training. But just making sure that you have that fresh content, because as Matt was saying before we even got on air today, is that you're gonna get out of that feed if you're not posting on a regular basis, and we tell our customers that you should be posting at least 40 posts a month to make sure that you're constantly staying in people's news feeds, and then also making sure that you're posting at different times of day, so you're really reaching a broader spectrum of people.
Right. No, that's a great point, Heidi.
I think a mistake that that a lot of us fall victim to sometimes, especially now that we're using our phones to do apps, is not taking a look at the content before we hit share and making sure that spell check didn't change what we intended it to say.
The auto typing
Yes.
changes the word.
The auto correct,
Autocorrect,
and
yeah.
you hit post, and then you get some feedback, and you look
Yeah.
back
Oh,
at what
yes, it
you
does.
posted and thought, that wasn't really what I typed. And so, if you just
Even if you
take,
typed it correctly, the computer completes it.
so if you just take a second before you hit share and look and scan over it one more time before you hit share, it'll save some snafus there.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. I need to turn that thing off sometimes. You can make some mistakes. So we're about out of our time for this evening. It's been really great having all of you here on the show. And for our viewers out there, I hope you've learned something about social media. If you don't use it at all, you probably said, whoa, what just happened there? What's a tweet? Or I don't even know what's going on. And if so, we invite you to connect with the Social Media Club Great Lakes Bay. We have a Twitter channel and a Facebook page, which will be up here on the screen in just a minute. And you're also free to send me any personal notes on Twitter. It's at @DeSchweinitz. I believe it was displayed up there on the screen earlier. I hope you join us next time on Digitized. My name is Mark DeSchweinitz. I'm your host. And thanks a lot for joining us.